Hey gang, welcome back to Pink Tomato Kitchen. I'm Kate Campbell and today we're making pesto pistachio crusted chicken. I've got some thinly pounded out chicken breasts here, boneless, skinless. We're gonna pound it out right here, you'll get a little lesson. I've got my trusty mallet, and then right here I've got some crushed up pistachios and Parmesan cheese. So for all of you paleo creatures out there, this does not have breadcrumbs, so this is a skinny girl recipe. And then we're gonna top it with some fresh tomatoes and garlic and olive oil, and can't forget the basil pesto. Okay, guys, let's talk about 425. 425 is the magic number for bacon chicken, okay? You're doing chicken, it's 425, you got it? So we got our oven preheated, 425. I've got my boneless, skinless chickenies over here. Okay, I pounded these out. I'm gonna give you a little lesson in how to pound out your chicken. These are actually already thin sliced, so you're not gonna have to pound them too hard. And you don't wanna over pound them and make them super thin. We want them to be pleasantly pounded. So we're gonna take this and a piece of cling wrap on a plastic board and just give it a little hit. You want it to be even. There we go. And I'm just gonna do, these are already pretty thin, so I'm like lightly pounding these. If you get those big boys from Costco, you're gonna have to pound a little longer. All right, and some of these already have little holes, so I'm only gonna pound the thick part. And you wanna use the cling wrap because it makes the meat not stick to your mallet. And if you don't have a mallet, you should get one on Amazon. All right, we're good, we're pounded. So this is just plain, I've seasoned my breadcrumb mixture, even though they're not my nut crumbs. Okay, so we've got pureed pistachios. These were salted, and then I added the Parmesan cheese, which also has salt. So I'm not gonna overdo it with the salt. And then I'll just pepper these, and then we're gonna dredge them in an egg wash and get them into the oven. Stay tuned. Okay, we're gonna make a pesto dredge, so it's gonna be like a runny pesto. And for all of you out there that are still buying pesto, stop. It is so easy and it's so much better fresh. Please stop buying your pesto. Okay, so I'm not gonna make a super like pasty pesto that you would use as a tapenade or put on even like a pasta, right? We're making a dredge for our pistachio breadcrumb. So I've got fresh basil, garlic. I'm gonna use, instead of pine nuts, I'm gonna use some of these pistachios. So these again are like salted, so I'm not gonna add much more salt. About third of a cup of those. One big bunch of basil. And we're making a double batch here, so I'm gonna make a big batch, but I would say just for one batch of basil, 1.5 cups of basil. 1.5 cups of pesto, sorry, one batch of pesto. All right, and then we've got our garlic. And I'm gonna actually rough chop this a little. This is probably, I like a lot of garlic, so again, garlic is like salt and pepper. You're gonna have to adjust it to your own garlic preferences, but I am a garlic girl, so I'm gonna garlic it up. So I am gonna rough chop this because sometimes the food processor, at least my food processor, doesn't always get every little nibble, and I hate getting a big clump of garlic in the pesto. That's annoying. So let's just rough chop this, just quickly, and always have sharp knives. That's another thing you should buy on Amazon if you don't have one, is an electric knife sharpener. Life is too short to have dull knives. All right. Okay, so we are gonna add all the garlic into the top. And with homemade pesto or any pesto, it is about the olive oil. You gotta use good olive oil. It will really ante up and level you up in your pesto game. Okay, so I am gonna liberally drizzle my olive oil. Let's call it half a cup. All right, and then this is gonna have a little water, but I'm gonna break this down a little and then we're gonna add a little water because we want it to be dredgy. All right. Okay, we're gonna set up an assembly line and we're gonna get our little chicky babies in the oven. So I've got a Silpat lined baking sheet. These are the best. And I've got my oven 425. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the chicken, we're gonna dredge it in the pistachio, we're gonna dredge it in our nut mixture, and we're gonna put it on the baking sheet. Okay, we're popping these babies in for about 30 minutes in a 425-degree oven. So I'm gonna plate. I've got some fresh arugula here, which I'm gonna plate dress with some good olive oil and a little bit of balsamic drizzle. And this is great stuff, by the way, to have in the freezer. I'm gonna just do a little scoop of these, my tomatoes. So this is tomato, garlic, olive oil, and basil. Just a standard Kate pink tomato side. So I just think it adds a little color, so I'm gonna do that on the bottom. I'm going to put my chicken on top. Add a little bit more tomato for some super fresh. And then you could do burrata or ricotta. And then I don't have any cheese today, and I'm going to just garnish it with some more arugula. Okay guys, it's springy, it's got a little bit of green, it's got a little bit of crunch. Here is our pesto pistachio crusted chicken with a little arugula salad and some fresh tomato bruschetta on top. Enjoy. Don't forget to hit subscribe and come back again real soon.